Hey everyone, today we are going to discuss about IT operations management. And how operations management implementing this ITOM going to help you build a mature IT organization within your company. So if you are an IT leader who is tired of getting incidents everywhere, right? And scratching your head like how can you bring down the list of incidents that are being logged crisscrossed between teams. The same kind of duplicate incidents are being logged, and nobody knows like what is the proper root cause of all of this. So I think this video is going to help you understand how to solve those problems, and with the help of ITOM, IT operations management. So um actually I had already recorded this video, and then after the video recording was done, I realized that I never switched on the mic. So I have to record this video again, but anyway, so I'll remove all the discussion points that I have had. So let's start afresh from here. So the entry point of IT operations is from incident management. And if you maybe you are looking to implement incident management, or you already have incident management and want it to refine and mature within your organization, ITOM can help you with that. So as I said, like the starting point would be the incident management, and without the help of all the associated operations, incident management is basically a ticketing system, isn't it? People are facing some issue, they're just logging the ticket, and somebody in the IT is going to solve it. But modern IT is much more than that. In fact, every system work with each other to make the ultimate experience of having an IT service management within the organization. It becomes mature day by day once you implement the associated services such as ITOM, ITBM solutions around your incident management. So I just draw this rectangle here, and this is basically incident management. So you have incident management here, and the next step is to have a proper CMDB, configuration management database. So I'm not going to even try to spell this CMDB total name. Of course I would do some spelling mistake. But anyways, we get the point. CMDB is like configuration management database. In short, like it's a database of CIs, configuration items. Now this is the entry point of your operations management. Now inside operations management there are majorly three powerful concepts, namely the discovery part, and service mapping, and event management. So we'll see these three components and how it can help your organization become a much more matured kind of a powerhouse of an IT. So let's do it. So I'll draw a straight line over here. So this would denote the bottom part would be the ITOM related components I'd draw. So let me just copy. The first item is the discovery. Now discovery is a powerful concept. What basically it does is, in CMDB it's just a database, but how are you going to populate the CIs? I mean, ultimately the IT operations that we are doing, we're basically managing the CIs that are defined in your CMDB. I mean, through incident management, through change management, release management, everything is tied back to CMDB, because your assets, your CIs are defined in CMDB. So how are we going to populate these CIs in CMDB? That's the first challenge that we had to address. Now, modern tools such as ServiceNow, they provide a kind of automated system that discovers the CIs. So it's pretty much a simple concept. So you provide ServiceNow or the other capable tools for discovery, that here is the range of IP ranges, right? And then probe inside this IP range and discover what all the assets, CI assets are defined within this range. So first of all, the tools would require an access to your internal network, and there are many ways of doing it. One of the popular option is like through the mid server, right? So mid server is an agent that sits inside your network, and it is able to communicate back to the ServiceNow instance, and it can only talk to the ServiceNow. No other type of communication is allowed. It cannot send data to an external system which is not authorized, only to ServiceNow. So it's basically a Java like jar file that is deployed inside your network, and now as it has the privilege of sitting inside your network, it can see all the servers, the databases, the applications, whatever it is that it is discovering. And this stateless agent is basically sending the probes. So the way discovery creates and discovers the CIs within your company network is that it sends a set of probe. A probe could be a command line prompt, let's say ping this server, right? So the first level of contact would be to ping a server. So it would take an IP address, ping that IP address, and if it returns something, then that IP address is valid. It's a live. It could be a database, it could be a server, whatever it is. So then at the next level, it would then send probe again and try to discover the associated properties, associated metadata related to that particular CI, depending upon what kind of CI it is. If it is a server, the corresponding probes would be different. If it is a database, the corresponding probes would be different, and it will try to discover things like what is the RAM size, what is the database size, and all sort of. It can do a whole lot of things, but you get the idea. Like, this is what it does. There are other type of CIs in a company which are not kind of like computer related. Let's say a staircase in your company, let's say building in your company, floors in your company, meeting rooms, right? So these are, like, of course, not discoverable. So you'd have to have someone in your team who would compile this list and the properties of these kind of like immovable kind of asset, non-computer related asset. So let's have a box for them as well. So non-discoverable CIs, right? So typically you'd ask one of your team members to create a CSV file, and it would have the list of these kind of CIs, and then you have to load that data onto the software, right? So this would be kind of a like a yearly activity or quarterly activity that you can do, or whenever a new CI is brought into the system, you can do that. The discovery module, it's pretty much hands-free. Once you implement it, you just have to monitor it, right? Whether it's discovering. It would run every day. It would send the probes, and it would try to discover, and it would store on a CMDB. So once you have your CMDB populated, you essentially have the list of CIs, and whenever someone is facing a challenge and they are logging an incident, now you immediately know that okay, this incident is related to this particular CI. So now you know the name of the CI. You can talk to the person who is responsible for that CI and say that, hey, look, some problems are being reported on your CI. Can your support team look into it, right? So this way, first you have to implement data population into your CMDB to make it more mature. Now, going to the one level down, the next level is service mapping. This is a powerful concept. This would make your IT setup like an invincible IT, where you have literally like a helicopter level visibility of who is being affected, why somebody is being affected, and what are the reason. So I'll explain that. Service mapping is, so at this level of discovery, you are basically discovering like the flat IP addresses, right? So individual items. Now how are these items are related to each other, right? The relationship have to be discovered as well, right? So the modern tools like ServiceNow, for example, they take a top down approach, right? So you have a business service. Where does this business service hosted on? Maybe it is hosted on an application, right? It is hosted on a server, right? And in a, then it would have a database. What are the metadata of the database, right? If the database goes down, then of course the application would go down and the business service will be affected. So you see, it's kind of a layered tiered approach, right? So at first level you are discovering the CIs. At second level you are discovering the relationship between them and creating a kind of pyramid structure, right? So now once you have the service mapping done, and service mapping again is kind of a like a discovery model that ServiceNow would run and try to discover the relationship between CIs, and it would auto populate and auto maintain that into your CMDB. So once you have that CMDB and somebody is reporting that okay, one of the server is not working, for example, right? So now you know how many applications are hosted on that server, how many database are relying on that server, right? And then who are the ultimate business services that could be affected as they use this application, for example, right? So that is the concept of service mapping. So it would give you a kind of god level visibility into your organization. So very powerful. Once it is implemented, you have achieved a significantly matured IT organization. And the third piece of the puzzle is the event management stuff. So what happens is in enterprise environment, you could have tools such as Splunk or AWS has its offering. Um, what these tools do is they scan your infrastructure and then look for events that needs to be reported to the management. So what it could be is that maybe there is a server which is consuming almost 80% of its RAM has already been utilized. So you need a communication back to either to the support team or the service owner, business owner of the server who needs to know about this. So the events could be of like red events, and then green events or amber events, depending upon how severe these are, and you can of course configure them into the tools. So that is the first part of it. And once the event is discovered, on it has been discovered, how are you going to utilize this event? Now those events have to come to tools like ServiceNow, where your CMDB is set up, and these once these and it has to be done through an integration, of course, between the your ITSM tool and the event management tool. But anyways, once the events arrive onto your ITSM tools such as ServiceNow, wherein you have to make some decision out of it. So as I said, like if a amber kind of event has come, and Splunk has reported to ServiceNow, and ServiceNow then needs to look into the service mapping intelligence that it has, and it will discover who are the affected parties, and it can send communication. So at least the business owner and service owner of that particular asset needs to be notified, the support team need to be notified, and if the event is significantly severe, maybe the incident managers, major incident managers have to be notified, so that they can take action of notifying the affected teams who are relying on let's say the server resource. So as you see, like with event management and service mapping and CMDB, with the discovery capability, it is all encompassing a very powerful kind of IT operations management setup. So once you have this into your system, you as a leader, you have a significant visibility over what is happening in your organization. You can take control over the random incidents that are coming through, how they are related to a larger issue, or maybe one-off issues that are happening inside your organization. So I hope with this concept you can take better decisions, and you can work with the implementation partners or your own teams who can implement these solutions for you. So with that, I'll conclude this discussion. It has been really nice discussing ITOM. It is one of my favorite topics, and looking forward to have more such discussions. Thank you for your time. Cheers.